This is CityCast Madison. I'm Bianca Martin, and here's what Madison's talking about. Today, it's the Friday News Roundup, and we've got a lot of news this week. But starting out, it's going to be a really good weekend for music lovers. FBC Live venues in Madison are throwing not one, not two, but 5 genre-specific fests tonight and tomorrow. There's the Wisconsin Blues Fest, Metal Fest, Bluegrass Fest, Funk Fest, and the Wisconsin Hip Hop Fest. That's the one we're here to talk about. Joining me on this Friday News Roundup to kick us off is a special guest, hip hop artist, educator, and activist Rob Dees. Rob, welcome to CityCast Madison.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yes, you are such a Madison star, and you have been on hiatus for performing over the past few months after having a heart attack on stage, which is such a huge event to happen to anyone. I'm so glad you're okay and so grateful you could be on the show. And you're about to have a performance here on Saturday at the Wisconsin Hip Hop Festival. Can I ask, how are you feeling ahead of this big show?
You know, man, there's a phrase that I've been hearing lately. It's better to be seen than viewed. So I am grateful. I'm looking forward to moving forward. So, yeah.
Amazing. Well, you are such a key player in the Madison art scene. And it seemed like the art scene and the larger community really rallied around you after this health scare. Does that feel right? Did you feel supported?
Yeah, it felt good. I'll just say it really did. It was encouraging to see everybody, all the well-wishers and people that were trying to support and offer, their assistance as needed, man. It felt good. So it feels good.
Yeah. Well, you deserve to be seen. And I want to talk about the Hip Hop Fest happening on Saturday. It's so exciting. Doors are at 7. What should folks know about what's on deck?
It's a lot of really good, true school hip hop. A lot of dope artists going to be on the bill. We got AD from The Crest, Te Amo Danku, Sincere Life, Yokes, Jexuses, Ernie Z from Milwaukee, DJ Pain One, DJ Violence Part Sniper, and it's hosted by Madison favorite Gary Knowledge. So it's going to be a really, really dope show.
And you've been to past fest too, right? Like, what can folks expect? What's the vibe like?
The vibe is just all love, man. Hip hop is based in love. And the artists that are always involved are putting their best foot forward and giving love. It's just a dope atmosphere. So,
is there anyone you're particularly excited to hear from?
I'm excited to hear from everybody. I would say on the small selfish tip, I am looking forward to seeing Jexuses, who is the new generation, a younger artist. I'm also looking forward to seeing Yokes, who is an older artist who was in the legendary group Fresh Force in Madison, legendary Madison group. So looking forward to seeing him, looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to seeing Sincere Life. Most people have only seen Craig Smith on the comedy side of things lately. So to see him pick up the mic is something that I'm kind of looking forward to as well.
And for people who aren't necessarily like in the hip hop scene or, maybe even don't consider themselves hip hop fans, would you recommend this fest for them? Like, is this a space where folks can get to know hip hop in Madison? And will they be welcome?
Of course, everyone is welcome. I mean, like I said,
I knew that, I guess.
Well, hip hop is truly based in love. And I think all the artists on the bill and everybody involved with the whole project, it's a good space to start an appreciation of hip hop because you have a lot of dope artists. And like I said, the vibe will definitely be a vibe of positivity and a vibe of love. So I definitely encourage anyone who is not necessarily a hip hop head, this may be a good point for you to come in and say, hey, man, let me check this out. So, yeah.
And of course, you're going to be performing. I don't know if I can put you on the spot, but do you have any bars you can drop ahead of? Or is it a secret?
I am not dropping any bars today.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the stuff is from the new project that's coming out this spring. So the new project's called Black Eyeball. So I'm going to be playing some of that stuff. So.
Okay. And are there certain themes or any sort of sneak peek you can give us?
I mean, the biggest sneak peek is just I am a black eyeball, and I don't mind sharing that on stage and presenting that as such. And it's just, that's pretty much what it is.
That is so perfect for Madison. And it's going to be a lot of beautiful energy. As you said, I'm feeling the beautiful energy now. And for folks who are new to Madison, and there are plenty of listeners to CityCast Madison who are like, we just moved here. What do they know about our local hip hop scene?
I would probably say the thing about our local hip hop scene is that there are a lot of people that work hard on the craft but are not necessarily recognized in the craft overall. As much as hip hop is recognized on a global scale, locally, I think that it's kind of flown under the radar and is more underground. So I think that for someone who hasn't been around, this is a good point to come into it because every artist on this bill is a true school hip hop artist, meaning there's no glitz, no glamour. It's straight music and it's straight good times and it's straight vibe. So I would probably say that anyone that hasn't been in Madison would probably say that, it's an underground type of scene, but it's a very authentic scene.
Well, honestly, I am really energized hearing you describe it. And after my grandma's 90th birthday, I might be coming through with my brother. So this sounds really fun. Rob Dees, you are a Madison treasure and really grateful to hear you're going to be back on the stage this weekend. And thanks for coming on to give us the update about the Hip Hop Fest. It's really exciting.
Cool, man. Bring your grandmama.
Honestly, it's the noise. It's the noise that's tough. But she would get down. That's honestly a pretty good idea.
We got some noise canceling earbuds. I'm just kidding. That's fine.
No, that's good. That's good to know, y'all. Hot tip. Rob Dees, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We've got some more news coming, but first, let's take a quick break. All right, we just said goodbye to Rob Dees, and now I'm saying hello to our newsletter editor, Rob Thomas. It's kind of a Rob squared day.
It's an Oops, All Robs episode.
The All Robs episode. Absolutely loving it. How you doing, Rob?
I'm doing great. How are you, Bianca?
Good. I'm excited to be back, and we're getting into the swing of things this year. As I mentioned when talking to Rob Dees, I'm celebrating my grandma's 90th birthday this weekend, which is really, really cool. And I'm really excited about it. And it's just so funny because every time I tell her she's turning 90, she looks at me shocked and in horror. Like, me? That sounds old, she says. I'm just really proud of her. So I'll be driving to go see her. Let's drive into the next news story. Rob, what's making a buzz?
Yeah, speaking of driving, we're talking about everybody's favorite road, the Beltline.
Beltline.
The Beltline. Nobody likes sitting in the traffic on the Beltline, right? And it feels like with the population growing here in Madison, it's only going to get worse. Just for context, in 2012, the state Department of Transportation said there were about 60,000 cars on the Beltline every day. And a decade later, that had doubled to 127,000 cars per day.
Wow.
So yeah. And you can feel it if you're on it. And that's only going to increase. They've tried to make some improvements like the flex lanes that came out a couple of years ago. But the DOT is looking at big picture solutions. And last year they released a study that offered a range of options. And some of those options are not going over well with Madison officials and some residents. First of all, when I say big picture, the biggest approach would be just to add another lane to the Beltline, another general purpose lane to widen it. Sort of the next biggest would be to extend the flex lanes beyond where they are now on the Beltline, so going up to Middleton. And they had a whole range of other options, including like improvements at on and off ramps to get traffic on and off more smoothly, and more crossings for cars, bikes, and pedestrians to get across the Beltline or around the Beltline or over the Beltline, and new park and ride locations. And so last week, the city's transportation committee weighed in on the ideas along with some residents who were at the meeting. And so everybody was all for the idea of increasing infrastructure for bikes, pedestrians, and cars crossing the Beltline and making that easier, thinking the idea would be that it would spread out some of the traffic off the Beltline. Jeff Barron is the project manager for the Department of Transportation, said a lot of drivers in the Beltline will hop on, stay on for 2, 3, or 4 exits, and then hop off again. So if there's a way to get those people to not get on the Beltline in the first place and have another option,
Oh, that's so true. A regular one for me is just like, it's one. I have to get onto the
Right.
Beltline for one. The
Exactly.
most efficient way. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But the idea of extra lanes, boy, that really did not fare as well. An additional travel lane, expanding the Beltline, would, of course, require the city to take over right-of-way land adjacent to the Beltline, and even expanding on and off ramps would also require acquiring additional land. Under that, adding an extra lane scenario, that would mean displacing around 24 residences and a dozen businesses, including several significant multifamily residential units. That was according to Eastside Alder Dina Nina Martinez Rutherford. And the idea of extending the flex lanes, that wouldn't widen the Beltline, but that would add additional traffic. And some alders were worried that that would impact the traffic getting on and on from exits like John Nolan Drive or Park Street, basically shifting that bottleneck from the Beltline onto those major roads. So following that meeting, Mayor Sachi Rhodes Conway and a majority of the city council came out and said they're sponsoring a resolution just flat out opposing expanding the Beltline. They say it would undermine the city's transportation, climate, and safety goals, and they say it would worsen neighborhood traffic and increase pollution and greenhouse gas emissions. So the state isn't like digging in at all and saying like we have to expand the Beltline, but that's an option they put on the table, and so far it doesn't seem to be getting a lot of positive reaction from Madison. What do you think about that, Bianca?
Oh, it's so deeply complex.
Yeah.
I will say, when I drove on the Beltline this week, it was not cute. It was really slow. We were crawling, and I was expecting some trouble on John Nolan Drive because, of course, all of the construction. But I was like, is this what it's like in the morning? This is not great. What should be done? I mean, my first thought is anything around highways is when you're thinking about residents and the businesses that are there, it often tends to be lower income families and like
Right.
who's going to be impacted by displacement. That's a really serious question to consider. Simultaneously, I do tend to feel like Madison just seems like we don't want change. It's here, it's coming. I was shocked by the statistic 60,000 to over 100,000 cars. Like that's a really significant jump. And, I take the point that we have green goals and people are hoping folks drive less. And I don't know, you can bring a horse to broccoli. You can't always make it eat. This is a
I
really
love that expression. I say it
the
every
old
day.
classic. So, I mean, I'm not going to pretend that I'm a transportation expert. I wish that I could say what's best, but maybe some of those alternative options. I trust our city, the fact that they're pushing back, they're likely pushing back for a pretty good reason there. In terms of expanding the flex lane just to be further down, I don't know, like what kind of impacts those would have.
Right. They're going to go through all that. I mean, one thing I think about, like I said, the population is continuing to expand. And even if you go to the trouble of adding an extra lane, which I think would be in the neighborhood of hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, if you're going to do it the length of the Beltline, how long does that provide relief if the county is growing at the rate it is? And this is time for the public to weigh in. So the state, because they've gotten so much comments from residents about the ideas, they've extended their public comment period for the proposals through the end of January. So we'll put a link to that so people can fill out the form and say what they want now through the end of January. As I said, the mayor and the city council are considering a resolution to weigh in. And the DOT says they're going to release an updated study in the spring that will take that comment from the city and from the public into account. So
okay. Well, this is a good one to follow. Thanks for bringing the heat from the Beltline to this Friday News Roundup. It's definitely a big story.
That's right.
We've got more to get into, so we're going to carry on our wayward son. But first, let's take a quick break. We're back, and we have news from the Madison Public Market.
Is the news that it's been delayed again?
I hope not.
No.
I don't believe that's the news.
No.
At this time, the much anticipated public market is expected to be having a soft opening in March. But the news is on Monday, the foundation announced 7 confirmed vendors for the space, which feels like a bit of a tease. That's just a fraction of what'll come. But hey, at this point, like, we'll take any details. But knowing that there are these new vendors that we can think about and talk about. Rob, do you feel like it's happening more or?
I do. Yeah. I mean, this is concrete. There are specific names that are going in. The other thing is they're putting these great murals all around the public market right now. And it really feels like it's something is finally manifesting after, 20 years? I think they started talking about this.
Yeah, it's really coming to life. I love the murals that I can see so far. So yeah, it's on 202 North 1st Street, right by East Johnson. And the hope is that it's going to be a year-round marketplace. They released the 7 confirmed vendors on Monday, and I'm going to get into what those are, if that sounds good, Rob.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So the first one up that I'm going to share is Sin City Smash, best known for their artsy big purple truck and tasty cinnamon churros and smash burgers. My old friend Maximus Noodle Perdomo is one of the owners with his best friend Rutger Scheischer. And yeah, they have a hit, and I'm super stoked to hear that they're going to be in the public market. That was a boon for this week.
Yeah, that big purple truck was parked almost like right next to us at Magic Pride Fest.
Yes.
Do you remember that? We got churros,
yes.
And it's just fabulous. So that's really exciting. They're going to go get a bricks and mortar space. Yeah.
Yes. So that's the only one of those announced that I really felt directly familiar with. So I'm going to get to the other ones here that I'm excited to try out and see. The Chow Pati, a woman-owned Indian street food business. Heck yeah. Servato Wine and Tapas Bar, which is an extension of Timber Hill Winery, offering Wisconsin-made wines and small plates. Ancestral Tribe Custom Apparel, a specialty apparel retailer selling natural body and hair care products. Unique Hair Accessories and More, which is another shop that sells natural body and hair care products. Love You, Madison, with handmade home goods and DIY classes. And last but not least, Artworking, which is a nonprofit arts and entrepreneurship program for artists with intellectual and developmental disabilities. I got that all from In Business Madison. Does anything stand out to you from this selection, Rob?
Well, the one I know is Artworking, which is this great program. I think their location right now is off Stoughton Road. My mom and I visited there when she was visiting a couple of years ago. And like you said, it's this place where artists with intellectual and developmental disabilities can come. There's a big art space where they can make art. And then there's a store where they can sell, cards and jewelry and bags. And really, we did a lot of Christmas shopping there one year. So that's really cool that it's going to be part of the public market.
I feel like the public market is going to be a Christmas shopping space.
For sure.
The holidays, whatever presents you're buying, whatever traditions that you follow. I feel like it's going to be a really good general community hub for that. Also for events and gatherings. And it's really cool. What's striking me is, the support for local entrepreneurs and a diversity of entrepreneurs that have different aims that feel very Madison. So that's pretty exciting. And also I read in Business Madison, they said that the public market is anticipated to support over 130 local businesses. So as we said, those are just 7. So a lot more names to come, and that the foundation is still leasing space at this time. So applications are still under review. And if you're interested in getting an application in, check out their website because that is available to you. Rob, before we move on, if you had a booth or space, what would you cook, make, or sell?
Oh, that's so interesting. I mean, I would say churros and burgers, but that's already been taken.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah, a rival. Yeah, I feel like that wouldn't go over too well if I was, I don't know.
Well, I've got an idea for you.
Okay, I'll hear your idea. I mean, I was thinking food-wise, I think I make pretty good pancakes. Probably a good little pancake spot would be good. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sold on that. Honestly, I don't even want to share mine. But you did write about crazy foods that you tried. So you could also make it like a performance space and invite
I like
people.
That. So people would bring me foods and I would eat it.
Yes.
That would be a popular but short-lived booth, I think. Yeah.
I would read tarot cards. I think that's what I would do at my booth.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah.
Well, it's exciting to hear about the different vendors coming to the public market. And, these are our neighbors and our friends. And we're going to transition now to talk about our neighborhood here on CityCast Madison. It's time for shout outs. One of the great perks of our neighbors program is the ability to shout out things in Madison that you love. Rob, why don't you start us out? What's our first shout out?
Yeah. Carrie Ann is shouting out Underdog Pet Rescue, and in particular, their Street Dog Coalition Free Vet Care Monthly Pop-Up, which is for the pets of people experiencing or at risk of homelessness. And I love Underdog. We have 2 dogs in the house. We've got them both from Underdog, so it's a great organization.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What a good one for you to read.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sheila K wrote in and she's shouting out Nono's Italian Ristorante, which she says is a great little spot on the west side to get yummy pasta and the best Cosmo I've had in Wisconsin.
All right.
Okay, Sheila. And that staff is always very friendly. So Nono's Italian Ristorante. Nice.
I've eaten lunch there. It's a really good spot. I've not had the Cosmo, but now I'll have to go back.
Yeah, I mean, me too.
Yeah. Let's go now.
Yeah. See ya.
And then finally, getting back to pets, Erica P. shouts out Noah's Ark Pet Center. She says, shopping for all my pet supplies locally while getting unlimited kitten cuddles. Sign me up.
Oh, sign me up too. I
Yeah.
love it. Those are great shout outs for the week. And we also have members to thank. We've got some new members, Andrew T., Valerie C., and Hannah F. Thank you so much for joining. Hannah says this is the reason she joined. Quote, cool local media is in for 2026. Thanks for providing the good stuff. I loved that message.
Hannah gets it.
Yeah.
And we also love hearing from our existing members. Jeff H. said, quote, as a 69-year-old retiree who moved to Madison 2 years ago, I really appreciate your efforts. You inform, interview, and entertain, all of which helps me better understand the area and enjoy the opportunities it brings. Thanks. Thank you, Jeff. That's really nice to hear.
Jeff, that is awesome. Yeah, that was also a wonderful message to receive. These just really light up our day.
Absolutely.
Like there's a lot of glow and shine and it helps us keep going. Y'all, we love hearing from you and from all of our neighbors. So if you want to join the squad, please do head to membership.citycast.fm. That's membership.citycast.fm. And we've got the last story of the day being that Monday is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, January 19th. Already it came up so quick. And Rob, you did a fantastic write-up with all of the different events happening in Madison. Madison does MLK Jr. Day big, frankly. So I'll direct people to your newsletter and to our website to read about all of them. But just to hit the kind of big ends, there's always the big annual ceremony that happens in the Wisconsin Capitol Rotunda. It's a banger every year. Wisconsin Celebration is actually the nation's oldest state celebration of its kind for MLK Jr. Day. That takes place at noon. Journalist Ahmad Baba will give the keynote address along with the Memorial Honor Guard and performances by Chicago's Victory Travels Gospel Group, pianist Becca May Grant, and violinist Dr. Brianna Ware Boggs. And we should say, if you can't make it in person, that's totally fine. The event is always live streamed, and it's live streamed on Wisconsin Public Radio and PBS Wisconsin. I think WRT also does, so you can still catch it and definitely recommend that. There's another big annual event that happens at Overture Center in the Capitol Theater. This year, it's the 41st annual Madison-Dane County MLK Day observance. Those are always a beautiful thing where you can hear the Martin Luther King Community Choir that comes together each year, like weeks prior. Anyone is welcome, and you can come and learn freedom songs. So that's a really beautiful thing. And this annual celebration always has like a really big name attached. The keynotes are huge. This year it's Mark Lamont Hill, who I really love listening to. He's really fascinating. He's a scholar, author, and media commentator. So if you want to go to that, you can catch the singing at 5:15 on Monday and then the program at 6 p.m.
Yeah, I can't believe it's Martin Luther King Day already. We're halfway through January. And I second that Madison really does Martin Luther King Jr. Day right. And there are all these events. In addition to the big ones, there's like a youth call to service day. And a lot of it is about not just honoring his legacy, but figuring out ways to put into practice in Madison in 2026. So it's a fantastic thing.
Yeah. And y'all, I have to let you know that because of the holiday, we will be off on Monday. So no podcast or newsletter. That said, we still love you. We'll be back Tuesday.
We'll be thinking about you for sure.
We'll be thinking about you.
Yeah.
Yes. So, as always, appreciate you and definitely appreciate you, Rob. Thank you for rounding up the news with me this week. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Bianca. It's fun to do it one-on-one.
That's all for today here on CityCast Madison. I'm your host, Bianca Martin. We're produced by Jade Isiri Ramos with editing help this week from Laura Sutsui. Haley Sperling is our executive producer. Our theme music is by Carl Christensen. Rob Thomas is our newsletter editor. You can always get more news delivered right to your inbox by subscribing to Madison Minutes. Don't forget, you can support the show and get great perks by becoming a CityCast Madison neighbor at membership.citycast.fm. And if you enjoyed today's show, why not share this podcast with someone who likes good music and maybe has to listen to good music to make it through sitting on the Beltline? All right, see you back here Tuesday morning with more news from around the city. Until then, thanks for listening and have a great weekend.